Welcome back to Fire Emblem, the Sacred Stones, and yes, I'm not on the file select screen this time. I thought I'd start this one here because everything up to this point is identical for both routes. So we're back at the route split here. This time, we're going to choose to go with Ephriam to Grotto as we begin Ephriam's route. And of course, this scene is totally different. So while on Erica's route they have to explain why you still have Kyle and Ford, on Ephriam's route, they're explaining why we have everyone. So, on this route, the princess is accompanied by generic NPCs, and yet somehow she still manages to get through Chapter 13. How? I have no idea. Of course, the irony being that she never gets on that ship. So yeah, we get everyone. And Ephriam is lampshading how this route is the harder one. But yeah, we all know what we're getting into with this one. So it's time to... yeah, that's pretty much all we get with a new journey, so I may as well save over this file then. And we have the Tower of Valny appearing, but I'm not skipping this because we've got a new destination here. And I will skip that explanation because we've already seen it. So yes, the Tower of Valny still exists on this route, but instead of heading this direction, we're heading straight down. Our first destination is Fort Rigwald. Before we move out though, first I just want to quickly check my team just to see where we're at. So yeah, it's time for a bit of a reset button. Everyone is back to the way they were, and wow, Ross only has one more speed at the very end of Erica's route for me, so yeah. Loot only 2 more speed. I would appreciate if you didn't get speed screwed this time. Joshua's actually kind of similar. And everyone else, we haven't recruited a lot of our main characters, except here's Ephriam. Yeah, we've got him back now. One thing that I actually was wrong about that I should correct now. This thing, the Regenleif, you don't get another one of these on Ephriam's route. I thought you did because you get a second rapier on Erica's. That's actually not true. This is the only one you get, and it's such an amazing weapon that you probably want to save it for later. And I probably don't want that steel axe now I think it... steel lance now I think about it. I'm going to go ahead and switch that over to, I guess, Kyle. Anybody have a spare? Well, I can take yours. And that javelin, huh. Ephriam could really use a second javelin, but anyone else here that could use a javelin? Well, yeah, I'll give Franz the javelin. Now that's Slim Lance, I'm actually going to go ahead and give that to Seth. Loot may need more magic. Let's see what we've got in the convoy. 1 iron axe, a couple of torch staves, and a bunch of promotion and stat boosting items. Not all that much. I suppose you can take that iron axe, because you might need that later. I definitely need to buy some more items, and I just realized that means I have to go through here. But I can just retreat out of the skirmish, so it's fine. I'll see you back here in the world map after I've done that. Okay, retreat successful. So now, we're going to be heading to Seraphue to just get a little bit more items. Namely, a couple of extra heal staves. And, okay, a restore staff is definitely going to come in handy in this next chapter. Unlike in Erica's route, we're going to be needing one of these right now. We are going to be getting one in the chapter itself, but it comes fairly late. Also, let's just buy another fire tome for loot, I guess. Yeah, unlike Erica, we're not going to be having a shop in our first destination, so we're going to need to prepare now. Also, need to put column stuff in the convoy. Joshua can't use that silver sword yet, can he? Yeah, no, he's way off using that. Okay. So... Actually, wait. One thing I want to do here is... I want to go ahead and buy some stuff. I'm going to put it on Seth for now. I'm going to go ahead and buy an Iron Lance. And you already have that Slim Lance. And a Javelin would be useful, but I can give that later. You want to, if you like a certain Pegasus Knight character, you want to buy some Lances before going into this chapter. Trust me, you want to do that. With that, I can probably go ahead and make a save now, and you can see here that, yeah, the background is different for Ephriam root files. So, let's now actually move out to Fort Rigwald. Our first taste of Ephraim's root. And this guy! Yeah, we're seeing him immediately. This guy is, well, kind of hard to talk about without mentioning that he's a massive meme. Well, at least he used to be a massive meme in the community. Not so much anymore, but he used to be one of the biggest memes in all of Fire Emblem. Seems like I suffered a defeat at the hands of Irons earlier. And as you can see, we've got a warrior boss, just like we did for the first chapter of Erica's route. But, since they're throwing us into a siege right off the bat, you can tell this route's going to be a little bit trickier. And this chapter is pretty unimaginatively named. Now, this scene, I'm going to be skipping the first part of this scene. This is all identical to Erica's route. However, there's actually a pretty big difference at the very end. So, I'm going to be cutting ahead now. Actually, I think this part is slightly different, so I'm going to come back now. Yeah, this is definitely where things diverge. We're getting a bit of an echo of the stuff we saw back in Erica's Chapter 2. The fact that bandits have pretty much taken over Renee and the Emperor doesn't care. So in this case, Selena is the one remaining at the capital. Dussel is actually going to confront Ephriam directly. And we have a bit of a different scene here. While Erica's Roots version of this scene focused on Glenn and Volta, Ephriam is going to be focusing more on Dussel, Leon, and Vigard. And so, yeah, Dussel is not a total loyalty-blinded idiot. He does realize that what his Emperor is doing is pretty stupid. And yeah, it's definitely not going to reflect well on Grotto in the future. But the Emperor's kind of being a broken record now. At least he's not saying he awaits people in the Dread Isle. Obligatory reference was obligatory. That just looks kind of silly on the map, just her getting slowly shoved forward one square at a time with the Pegasus sprite. So yes, this is Geb. He is pretty much a gigantic meme. And this is also probably the guy who inspired Valtome in Radiant Dawn and Excellus in Awakening. So, in this case, Tana's actually been captured by the enemy. You didn't tell me he was that you treat for the eye. This is a bad word, Captain. I'm sorry, but yeah, that's my best Geb voice. Yeah, this guy's kind of a creep. And this background is also reused from FE7, I remember it definitely. So yeah, legendary fort that's never been breached. That's our first obstacle. Ephriam's route, everyone. No, I'm pretty sure we do. But of course, they're all terrible generic soldiers. And this part is interesting. Well, dramatic irony, we already know that, but Ephriam doesn't know the direct confirmation yet. Unfortunately, Dussel isn't here. And that's kind of a hint as to what we're going to need to do eventually. And that line, it makes me really want to do a pacifist run of this chapter, although that's actually very difficult. You'll see why later in this cutscene that I even more want to do a pacifist run of this chapter. Yeah, they're all officially doomed. Unfortunately, this guy's gonna have none of this. Like, I actually like scenes like this, how they humanize the enemy soldiers. I mean, it makes you feel really awful for fighting them. But a lot of, well, at least a lot of more recent Fire Emblem games are lacking in this kind of thing. Burnt at the stake? Really? Yeah. I mean, I know from his appearance is the main reason he became a meme, but still, like, this guy of all people to become a giant meme, he's probably the most disgusting generic enemy commander in this entire game. No, it's the giant fat thing of doom who everyone hates. Yeah, this guy is a real piece of work. Oh, and hi there, we recognize your sprite. So on this route, Amelia's assigned here, not over to the forces aiding the mercenaries up in Carquino. Oh, great. Thankfully, he's interrupted. And he also thinks that he's a brilliant tactician. Yeah, he probably did inspire Excellus, now that I think about it. Yes, of course, everyone will be very sad if you die. Very, very sad. I actually feel like, so this is interesting, I feel like Amelia gets a bit more development on this route than she does on Erica's. And yeah, like I said, I like scenes like this for humanizing the enemy soldiers. And now we finally get preparations. So that was a pretty long cutscene. So let's go ahead and check the map. I guess I'll get the first thing out of the way. Is this guy is squadron commander in Grana's army. He cares nothing for his men's life. Yeah. This guy has no ranged attack. And if you want his killer axe, you have to pretty much kill him in one go. Which is easier said than done because he's a giant wall of HP and not much else. All of his stats except for strength, defense, and HP are pretty terrible. But he is surrounded by a sleep staff guy. Let me see. Yeah, you have Luna. So the enemy equipment, Armor Slayer, yes, the enemy equipment here is short bow. Keeps proving me right. The enemy equipment here is a lot more advanced than we're used to seeing on Erica's route. So, we need to be pretty careful here. Speaking of being careful, Amelia. Amelia is here. And this is a problem. I'll talk about why it's a problem later on. We also have this guy over here. Yep, of course, he has a killing edge. Iron Blade. Yeah, a lot of pretty decent equipment on these guys. Well, you just have regular steel weapons. Both of you have javelins. And we've got Corridors of Doom here, with longbow archers over the sides and mages. Horrible flashbacks to Conquest Chapter 25, although thankfully this isn't anywhere near as bad, because at least these things don't debuff you every time they hit you. Oh look, an item that we have to steal. Great. There's also another Sleep Staff guy. Sleep doesn't have a very high hit rate, and if you have Restore Staves, it's not a big deal, but they are throwing Status Staves at us right this moment, which is actually pretty dangerous. More steel weapons. There are also going to be reinforcements in this chapter. A heavy spear. There's a lot of droppable lances in this chapter. I think they're trying to tell us something. Also, I like this double thick door here. They kind of just layered sprites on top of each other, but it does look pretty impressive. So let's go ahead and pick our characters, but first, here's something that I want to do. I completely forgot about this option. There's an armory in your convoy. It only sells very basic weapons, but if you're running low on weapons, and you're in the middle of a chapter that you can't exit out of, like, say, Chapter 15 or Chapter 12 on Erica's route, you can buy stuff from here. I wouldn't really advise it, because the items here are actually more expensive than they are in normal shops, so only use this as a last resort if you're really running low on weapons. A feature like this, I believe, was in New Mystery of the Emblem, actually. Because let's pick our characters. Of course, we're stuck using Ephriam, but that's actually a good thing, unlike with Erica, because he's amazing. Obviously, going to want to bring Natasha. And, yeah, we don't really have that many people that I want to use my character slots on here. So, definitely want Seth Franz, Loot, Ross. We need Colum for his unlocking abilities. We need Joshua because he's cool. Might as well take Mulder for having an extra healer. Don't want you, and yeah, I'm going to bring both Kyle and Ford because they're the best other characters that I have. Should somebody get those elixirs? I don't know. Didn't mean to do that. I actually meant to trade one of those elixirs to Joshua because I doubt both of these two are going to need their elixirs. I'm going to go ahead and take yours. Oh yeah, and because Amelia's here, having Franz is also a good thing. Because, yeah, Franz can recruit Amelia just like he can on Erica's route. Which I intend to definitely do later on. I mean, not exactly later on, but I mean, I definitely intend to do this. Come on, Joshua, a little bit further forward. Okay, might have Seth back a little bit because he can move further. So, I believe it's time to head out to the fort. So just before we start, if you thought Erica's second map theme was amazing, you ain't heard nothing yet. However, we're going to be introduced to this in a pretty unfitting situation. Heroic music as Tana is being shoved into a prison cell, yeah. Yes, that laugh. So yeah, that song is amazing, and I turned off battle animations specifically so that you'd be able to hear more of it. This song, if you want to look it up, is called Determination. Unfortunately, that means that you should probably avoid the comment sections of YouTube videos of this song, because, yeah, you probably know why. References, complaining about references, complaining about references, complaining about references, just, yeah. Best not to go into the whole thing. But yeah, this song is awesome. So, first things first, these archers can't shoot over this wall, but this guy certainly can shoot to some spaces, so I'm going to basically have Joshua try and fight off these two. It's going to kind of stall me for a turn, though, if I can't. If I try and move more people in, they're going to get attacked more. I don't exactly want Franz to take all the experience, because if he does, yeah, I'm not really planning on using him as much later on. But yeah, there are already a couple of axe users here, and we have Ephriam, so obviously keep him away from those. No, that's gonna block him off. Kind of like for Ross to get a little bit of experience here and try and not get speed screwed. My Cavaliers are going to be doing some work later, but for now, not really. And here's an annoying part of this chapter. Because Tana starts as a blue unit, it means that we have to manually go all the way up to her and have her wait if we want to auto-end turns. So, yeah, this is one of those times where you basically have to manually end your turn most of the time. It's annoying, but hey, at least Tana isn't an NPC. Oh yeah, by the way, she's perfectly safe as long as she stays exactly where she is and doesn't move. None of the enemies will try and go for her. And you might notice we have the same enemy phase theme as Erica's Rude. Which I guess is kind of understandable. Good, that archer moved. Which means I can now take him out. Although if Franz was equipping a javelin, then I could have counterattacked him. But that would have been... Okay, first sleep staff use. Fortunately, it's on someone who I don't really care that much about. Although Kyle did get very... Of course, he got hit. Right, now we can show off the resource staff in action. And yeah, more reinforcements. There are a lot of proximity-triggered reinforcements in this map, and there's actually quite a lot of them. Oh yeah, by the way, Tana. So, Tana's here. While Tana does join in the same chapter and at the exact same level she does on Erica's route, she's got a major disadvantage on Ephriam's due to the fact that she starts with no weapons. This makes it a lot harder to level her up a bit in this chapter, meaning that if you want to use her on Ephriam's route, you probably need to grind her in the Tower of Valny. Or stall out the reinforcements here and let her fight them all. Yeah, that's why I said that you should buy some items before going into this chapter. Some lances, specifically. Okay, Ephriam can destroy you, and not quite destroy you, so let's go for you first. The benefit of Ephriam's route is that we have a main character who's very, very good. So, yeah. My practice run of this, Ephriam hogged most of the experience of this chapter. Now, you are both Lance Cavaliers, which is a good thing for me. Well, mainly just for Ross, but... Oh, hey, Ross is actually doubling something. I mean, admittedly, it's something that has a steel lance, but still, it's doubling something. And now the second Cavalier. Can Luke double something? Yes, she can! Well, again, it's something that has a steel lance. Now, things are going to get a little bit trickier for Loot soon, because there are some Shaman reinforcements that spawn from the stairs. The stairs down here. There aren't that many of them, though. At the moment, what we need to be concerned with are these Cavalier reinforcements. Ephriam can actually handle them pretty effectively, though. Oh, great. Okay, so what we're going to do here is not have Colum go on the front lines, because I mainly need him for chests and for... Okay, you need to get healed, but guess I have to have Mulder heal you, because Otherwise, if I traded, then I wouldn't be able to move one of my healers. I need both of them to do something this turn. So we have Mulder heal you. I still love this song. I remember back when... I would like Natasha to be closer to Joshua, but oh well. I remember back when... This is what Restore looks like, by the way. Back when I first played this game, I did Erica's route, obviously, because that's the one that's most recommended for first-time players. And... so, skirmishes have the same map theme as that map originally had. So, when I went back after, like, the two twins met up after Chapter 15... guess that's kind of a spoiler, but, oh well, we know what's gonna happen anyway. I went back to some of Ephriam's Roots maps to do the skirmishes on them, and my mind was blown when I heard this theme for the first time. I was like, wow, when did this amazing song exist? So yeah, it turns out it's Ephriam's second map theme. Not that you ever really got to hear much of his first map theme, because it's only used for one chapter, but still. So, we're getting rushed by Cavaliers now. And you are really obsessed with making Kyle fall asleep. I was trying to make some kind of Inception reference there, but I kind of got nothing. You can't even get into javelin range, can you? So, actually Kyle here might not be a bad idea due to his good defense. Now, some of these soldiers will move, so you have to be a bit careful. Well, like I said, Kyle's good defense. He's getting totally tinked by this guy. Not the greatest of level ups, though. Okay, how many of you... I'm sure at least one... Yeah, I knew one of you had a javelin, and you can actually reach loot. Now, I'm pretty sure only one javelin user can go for loot, so... that shouldn't be too bad if I put her here. Yeah, of course, loot can't double the ones that have iron swords. I swear, loot is supposed to be fast. I don't know what's happening, but yeah, she's not getting much speed for me. Don't know if I trust Franz to run out of the middle of nowhere and get hit by everything. Especially when that does 9 damage to him. Even with its pretty good, And now, with psychic knowledge of where reinforcements spawn, I'm going to block them off. Ross here might be useful, though some of them are sword cavaliers. Yeah, no, Franz needs to be around here, because I need to use him to recruit, yes, recruit her, and it's going to be pretty tricky on this route, unlike on Erica's, for a certain very, very, very annoying reason that you'll definitely be seeing in a bit. Oh, that's Franz, not Kyle. I think Kyle and Forday... I used to call him Forday. I think it's actually Ford, but I used to call him Forday. I think they've actually unlocked a support conversation. So I might as well show that, since I'm not really planning on having either of them support with anyone else, though I would quite like to see, I don't think I've ever supported Ford and Franz before. I hear they have very good support, it's just that, I mean, there's no real, well, I mean, you know, if you've got a, I suppose Paladins are great, so, you know, you do want to use a lot of them, but generally speaking, if I'm using Franz, I'm not using Ford, because Ford is kind of just a weaker version of Franz. Well, you got doubled, but it's called the Heavy Spear for a reason. And that's going to be Ephriam's substitute so that he doesn't have to use the Regenleif, so and I accidentally mashed the A button and sent my Steel Lance. And that's exactly what I was counting on you to do. Although, getting hit was not what I was counting on you to do, Loot. Please dub... Ah! Can't even double a Javelin, that's sad. Well, this time we went for the Red Knight, with a slightly higher hit rate. And as you can see, being on defensive terrain doesn't change the hit rate of status staves at all. It's all entirely based on resistance. And there's that Shaman spawning. Yeah, even with 3 resistance, that's a really, really low hit rate. You gotta admit, they did buff status staves pretty impressively in Fates. I'm still very, very glad Berserk doesn't exist in that game, because you know they would have combined it with Staff Savants. And now I think it's safe for Ephriam to run in and do his thing. Let's see. Don't even need a critical here. But I'm going to get one anyway. I still love Ephriam's critical animation. Again, I guess I can probably mention this now. I voted for him in the Smash Brothers voting gauntlet. I mean, I guess we technically got another Fire Emblem representative, but I definitely would have rathered Hector or Ephriam, or even the Black Knight. Because, I mean, there's not that much villain representation in Smash. Well, I mean, there's a little bit of it, but not a huge amount. Guess I'm going to have to... I suppose Kyle can show off a little bit more. Still, Lance is doing a lot to these soldiers, though. And yeah, I still feel bad for fighting them, but I'm pretty sure that a 100% pacifist run of this chapter is not possible, because these two enemies who are blocking this door, I don't think they move. You know, if I send this to the convoy, Ephriam can just pick it up next chance he gets. Benefit of your lord being the convoy. Which is actually kind of the norm for Fire Emblem games, but this was the first experience Westerners had with that, because FE7, it was actually a specific character who was the convoy, who was way, way better than he was in FE6, so at least I'll give him credit for that. I do mean way, way better. Yeah, FE6 Merlinus is something, let's just say. Definitely something. They clearly learned their lesson after that. That was a really, really bad idea. Once again, Joshua has an uncanny ability to get criticals without killer weapons. Huh. Oh, that's a double thick wall. Yeah, no, we can't javelin over that one. I mean, this priest is pretty much useless at this point. In my practice run, I actually left him alive. Might as well have you there in case Joshua gets hit by the... Because there are going to be more reinforcements. Okay, yeah, you're the only one left there. So far, and this will definitely change, but I'm not really getting damaged that much in this chapter. Like I said, this will really, really change, because we're about... I forgot you had a Horse Slayer! Okay, but... And I missed an 82 under true hit, but still. Good thing you're Kyle! Very good thing you're Kyle, because anyone other than Kyle, let me just quickly try this. Let's see how much damage Franz would have taken. Not enough to actually outright die, but still a lot. You've got 10 strength, you're not actually terrible for an Armor Knight. And that Horse Slayer isn't droppable, unfortunately. Let's see. Yeah, I could have Kyle try and javelin you, but... Should I open the door now? Because I would actually quite like to lure these two armors down. Once I open this door, bad things are going to happen. You know, I suppose if we're going to have to equip javelins anyway once those guys come in. I admit there's not really that much room for Ephriam to have a particularly imaginative Smash Bros. Moveset. I like him getting defense, though. But even then... I still would like there to be an actual non-sword using Fire Emblem character in Smash Brothers. I mean, I do admit at the moment there are too many Smash characters in Fire Emblem. Yeah, that's the thing. No, I'm now imagining a Nintendo All-Stars tactical RPG. That was actually not a bad idea. But anyway, there are definitely too many Fire Emblem characters in Smash. Although I'm gonna cause flame wars for saying this, but if I was going to cut someone, I'd probably cut Roy, but that's because I'm biased, because FE6 is my least favourite game in the series, and Roy is probably my least favourite lord in the series. I'm going to get lynched for not saying Corrin there, but I still really don't like Roy. Mainly just, I can't get over how really, really, really late his promotion is, and how annoyingly useless that makes him in gameplay. Steel Lance's 19, 12, yeah, that does 7 damage, yeah, 7 times 2, that won't be enough. So I'm going to go ahead and door this. We could, yeah, I could door and run. I sort of want to lure these armors as far away from the rest of the pack as I can, because everything here is going to start rushing towards us, and I do mean everything. You can tell where this is going, can't you? But if I control it like this, make sure I try and get rid of those armors early. This song is still amazing. Okay, the javelins can reach that little square there. I suppose I can try and see if they'll go for Ross. And again, we still have Tana's turn left over. Yes, I do mean everything. Amelia rushes straight at you the moment you open that door. This is why I find recruiting Amelia way more annoying on this route than on Erica's. Also, unlike Erica's, you don't get a second chance at recruiting Amelia on this route. You have to get her now. That was a bizarre level up. But yeah, she runs right at you and will definitely die if you don't get your people the hell out of her range. So that's a pretty cruel move. Also, more reinforcements. Thankfully, they're not going to attack Tana, even though one of them has a javelin. Speaking of thankfully, Amelia does only have 4 movement, and this guy is implied to be the sympathetic guy from that cutscene. I really don't want to hurt him, but I think I might have to, which is a shame. Oh yeah, that's really... Okay, what I'm going to do here is... Yeah, that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to take out these armors like from a distance like this, and then have a couple of my cavaliers step forward and throw javelins at those mercenaries. That way I stay out of Amelia's range. Please speed. Twice in a row, just a resistance level up. This is not boding well. Because, yeah, if I get to one of them in melee range, then they are... Well, Amelia's going to get herself... I mean, severely killed is a pretty weird way to say it, because... You seriously can't double. I guess you only have a little bit higher speed. Let's try this then. And that was exactly what I was hoping for. At least Ephriam's being awesome. At least it's not a repeat of my original take of Chapter 5X. And I'm out of range of the corridor archers as well. Good thing that guy broke his sleep staff early. If he still had the sleep staff active now, that'd be very, very, very problematic. 1 damage off, really? I'm gonna have to go for it, I guess. Okay, yeah, now begins Operation Stay Out of Amelia's range. Provided that I have Franz back here and just throw a javelin. We'll be able to bait that mercenary out without Amelia dying horribly. I suppose I should have Seth back here, maybe? And you need to heal Kyle. And yeah, that was all of the shamans from those stairs, I'm pretty sure, so there weren't that many. I guess Kyle's the one who's more, RNG gifted, let's just say, so he can go there. And having to leave this archer alive if you want that red gem is really annoying. Especially since it's a good idea to have Column Head on the upper parts of the map to grab those chests. I mean, you get plenty of gold in this game. I'm not sure I really need that red gem. But if you want to see it, here's Kyle and Ford's support conversation. This one's also one of the most infamous ones in this game for one reason. So yeah, Ford painting in the middle of the battlefield. Well, sketching as he says. I'm now imagining him as Yusuke. But anyway, this gets really hilarious if you do this conversation during the final battle. I won't say why, but a lot of people have pointed out that forward stopping during the final battle to Pain is pretty funny. Even Carl's pointing that out. This support pretty much sums up how the general Red and Green Knight archetypes go. One of them is much more serious, and the other's very, very laid back. Once again, people sparring on the battlefield during support conversations. And now he's saying that he needs to take himself less seriously. You need to take things less seriously. You need to take your duty more seriously. Again, every Cain and Abel summed up in a nutshell, basically. You know, I'm actually very glad you did that. I'd really like Ephriam to get the experience here. And so, no, please. Oh, of course he died horribly. Yeah, I wanted that guy to live, but yeah. And Ephriam didn't even get much experience out of it either. It's like the game actually doesn't want you to kill him. Yeah, more Cavaliers are incoming, but we've got the awkward situation of the whole of ranged enemies and no melee enemies to combine with them. Okay, yeah, you're still identical. Now, something interesting is that Franz's... yeah, there's Franz. I'm pretty sure that he won't be able to attack after talking, which is a problem. But yeah, Franz's recruitment with Emilia is actually different on this route than it is on Erica's, which is something that I didn't expect, but it's true, it's actually a different conversation. I'll show you now. I actually like this one better. Like, that one didn't give Emilia much justification for joining other than, oh, Erica's not a tyrant at all. But this one's a bit different. Oh, and she tripped over. So I guess she's Proto-Sumia then. So yeah, we get a little bit of backstory on Franz as well. And yet more ridiculous rumors spread by Grotto. The guy you're working for, on the other hand. And Fred saying, I think. Okay, so yeah, Emilia's now joined us. Emilia on Ephriam's route is virtually identical to Erica's route. Joined in the same chapter and at the same level. The only real difference is that you never get a second chance to recruit her on this one, so make sure you get her now. This also means it's not possible to clone her speedwing on this route. Other than that though, everything that applied to her bio before applies here. She's pretty much the exact same. And we'll need to get the heck out of here. So, oh, I'm gonna need to heal Ephriam a little bit. Yeah, Ross isn't gonna do so good there. As long as Ephriam stays away from the mages, he should be fine. So, I'm gonna heal him and then try and javelin one of the archers. Like I said, this corridor's not that threatening if you get rid of all the melee enemies in the middle. The ranged enemies on the sides are really only there to pepper you with shots while you're stalled fighting the melee enemies, but if they're gone, then they're no longer that much of a threat, although you still... Oh no, you don't even have a longbow. Also this mage. Thunder and a chest key. Okay, yeah, I could just take out that guy. Res 3, also Res 3. Have a hand axe out of nowhere. Oh, it missed. I had a feeling that would miss for some reason. And right, if I get rid of that archer here, Luke could probably fight them on pretty even terms. Although they might all just go into Franz. Actually, wait, there are the Cavaliers here. How far can they go? Not very far. Although, like I said, where are these guys? Thunder, 8 crit. 7 luck. I won't say it. I definitely won't say it. Oh, okay. Maybe I am going to keep the... Wow! I don't know what to say anymore. Now it's no longer particularly safe for Luke to head that way. I really don't know what to say anymore. You don't have a javelin, so I'm not going to have you go there. And the stragglers shall continue straggling behind. Attacking in melee range, huh? 13 damage though, ow. That's 3 times in a row! And now is the time where I actually kind of want Kyle to miss. Yeah, because if he kills this guy... Okay, is that not legitimately not doubling, or is it because I'm... Yeah, no, it's legitimately not doubling. Your weapon didn't break there. Okay, I'm glad for that. Because, yeah, if Kyle had doubled and killed that, then this other mage would have killed him. I underestimate how much damage that first Thunder guy would do. Well, at least this archer is gone. Provided that I don't get ridiculously... Thank you! Okay, good. Didn't eat my words there. Okay, Ephriam is being amazing as usual, I'll take that.